Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming. As you may recall, Minister, the Honorable Arwayne Scott, delivered a ministerial statement in March of last year to announce plans to publish a request for information inviting persons or entities, both local and international, to submit expressions of interest to purchase or further develop the Grand Atlantic housing complex. The RFI requested that investors put forward alternative options for the development's future. Minister Scott then came back to the House in June to announce that 5 proposals for the use of the Grand Atlantic property were received by the closing date. Today, the Government of Bermuda is pleased to announce that the Caribbean-based hospitality, tourism, and leisure consultancy firm McClellan and Associates has entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Bermuda government to upgrade and reposition the Grand Atlantic residential development on South Shore Bermuda. The proposed redevelopment of the Grand Atlantic site will create a condo hotel which will make use of existing construction and bring a new all-suite tourism product to Bermuda that is very popular in other jurisdictions. In the hospitality industry, a condo hotel is defined as a development which is legally a condominium but which is operated as a resort, offering short-term rentals of hotel suites with front desk and resort leisure facilities. It is anticipated that the units at Grand Atlantic will be sold as a combination of investment and vacation homes, with condo owners being restricted to 90 days annual occupancy per annum. When owners are not in residence, they can leverage the marketing and management provided by the hotel operator to rent and manage the condo unit as it would any other hotel room. This will be a welcome addition to Bermuda's current hotel inventory and a completely unique product for our market. The MOU has a 120-day exclusivity clause, which will enable McClellan and Associates and their Bermudian partners, the Bermudiana Beach Resort, to finance the acquisition and associated development costs of the project. It is expected that the project will provide jobs and tourism opportunities for the wider sector of Bermuda. It is anticipated that the site could be prepared for sale of condo units within the year. Currently, McClellan and Associates are working to finalize the financing arrangements for significant design changes, incorporating resort amenities, and identifying a hotel operator that is willing to partner with investors in the opportunity presented by this development for a new tourism product in Bermuda. McClellan and Associates is a full-service consultancy and appraisals practice established in 1997, which specializes in the hospitality, tourism, and leisure sectors in the Caribbean and Atlantic. A member of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, CHTA, McClellan and Associates is the largest consultancy based in the region, ensuring that the team has in-depth knowledge of Caribbean countries. I am confident that this project will prove to be financially beneficial to Bermuda, as well as one that creates employment and has a positive social impact. I would also like to share with you, if I may, comments that we actually received from McClellan and Associates, which literally just is hot off the press. McClellan and Associates is very pleased to have been chosen to work with the Bermuda government and the BHC on the redevelopment of the South Shore site we are calling the Bermudiana. Currently, we are working to finalize the financing arrangements for significant design changes and amenities, and continuing our relationship with a hotel operator that is willing to invest in the opportunity presented by this development for a new tourism product in Bermuda. Our costs for this work will be recovered as the project progresses to completion, and I am confident that the proposed business model can work in Bermuda's unique tourism environment. That was from McClellan. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to.
Minister, what consideration did the government receive for this exclusive MOU arrangement?
There is no consideration. This 120-day period of time is the start point, and during that period of time, all of the financing arrangements will actually be determined.
Okay, and so basically they have a free reign for 120 days.
That they do.
Okay. Who is the local industry partner?
Bermudiana. It's called. I'll give you the exact name.
All right, I'll
Bermudiana Beach
rephrase that
Resort.
question. Who are the principals behind the local industry partner?
I have the name of the resort, Bermudiana Beach Resort. I can actually get you the bodies if if that's important.
Can we have a copy of the MOU, please?
I think that during this period of exclusivity, I believe that it's probably appropriate to keep that information in-house. But once we get to the end of it, I believe that it'll probably be I'd be quite amenable to releasing it. I think that there are some proprietary things that we have to consider in terms of how the MOU is worded, and I just think it's more appropriate to hold on to that information. We're not trying to keep anything secret, but we just release it at the appropriate time.
Can you tell us the basic clauses in the MOU, like a summary of what's involved?
Basically, it is to take over the property, that they would be responsible for converting the property into the appropriate standards that they would want to use. They're obviously looking for their for their named managers during that period of time, and to make sure that they will paint the property, do all the necessary things, shore it up, create access to the beach, various things that they are wanting to do on the site in order to make it viable and to make it workable.
And I understand that a couple of owners of those properties right now, they were sold before this whole period started. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen to them? They're going to be bought out? Or?
That I will have to defer to...
Thanks very much,
yes.
Minister. With your permission, yes, there were two families who had purchased. One family has already been transferred to another property, and the second family we are in regular contact with the view of transferring them as time passes as well.
Are they willing to be transferred?
The talks with them have been very, very fruitful, cordial, and they are in a position now to look at transferring to other properties.
Cool, thanks.
Minister, with all of the furor that's been going on about the cliff face, etc., how do you, now with McLennan Group taking it over, how do you anticipate all of the rhetoric about the cliffs and stuff to go away?
Well, the interesting thing is that there's nothing that's going to go away. Once an issue has been addressed and has been looked at, it's there and it's in the public domain. The development group is aware of the public concerns surrounding the cliff and its structural integrity. They've reviewed the existing engineering documentation. They have physically inspected the site, and they will take additional counsel from structural engineers during this due diligence period of 120 days. So that's all it's being put out there, it's up front, and there's nothing that, we're not trying to push it under the covers. There was an issue, and it is being addressed.
And when will we hear from them, McLennan? I know you just read a piece of correspondence, but when will Bermuda see who they are as such? Like, will they do a statement later on, for example?
I'm sure they will. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
O'Brien. Gentlemen, you say that this is going to be a unique product for the market. As far as I recall, there's a place at Newstead and at Tucker's Point that do exactly the same thing. Are you guided and guided by their experience?
That would probably have to be a question that's probably best answered by the tourism department, because I honestly don't know the answer for that. Be happy to find out that information. I do know that the level of what these condo units are likely to sell at is not going to be anywhere in the same ballpark and vicinity as what exists at Tucker's or perhaps even at Newstead. But I stand to be corrected on that. I can certainly find out.
Final question from Ryan.
Yeah, Minister, sorry. Just to follow up on the question about the cliff face, is the government now representing a different position than you had represented as opposition, that it was dangerous, that it was going to fall into the sea and all that kind of stuff?
As I said, the cliff face is part of the consideration. The engineering reports, as they will be looked into during this exclusivity period by the developers, will obviously reveal if there's any further work that needs to be done. I think that it's important to state that when one has sight of information, you can perhaps make different decisions. And they are aware, McClellan is aware of the concerns, as I indicated, and anything that needs to be done to further remediate or shore up or make sure that cliff face doesn't have any further challenges or problems, that will be done, and it will be looked at during this exclusivity period, and it will be part and parcel of whatever the ultimate development will end up being.
Okay, no, my question is, based on the information you have now as government, is your position different, your position as government different than what it was when you were in opposition?
I don't know that the position is any different.
It won't fall into the sea then?
I don't know that the position is any different. I think that there have been concerns expressed, and I think until such time as we get these additional engineering reports, I believe that it's important to be cautious. I'd rather err on the side of caution.